goes on live. All right, we're recording, and Mort, do you have anything to share for us today? Okay, unmute yourself there, please.
Yeah, I do. I just started a build log on Model Ship World, which will be easier to see, but I dry fitted the captain's cabin furniture, his bed place with his wash sink and his hanging bed, and a dresser and a trunk, and some furniture in the great cabin, some closed chests, and a desk. And I'm working on the dining cabin furniture now. And that's about where I am right now. Work's been going slow. But I'm basically happy with the progress. And that's about it. That's where I am right now.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Tom, how about you? You got something for us today?
No, I started planking, but it's not good enough to show yet. So next month. Thanks, though.
All righty. Let me see. Let's see. Joe is hiding. John, you're also hiding. How about the other John there?
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sure my progress on the Ajax, the 1765 English frigate, the kit I bought from during the auction 2 years ago. I believe the drawing dates, it's actually from 1976, the kit. So, been trying to finish up the outer hull, have the lower deck cannon and the upper deck cannon done. Most of the transom is done at this point. And one of the most difficult things, I think, is going to be working on the bow. There's a lot of work to be done up there, so that's why I was trying to get everything else anchored down so that I can get to the delicate work on the bow. That's about it for right now.
All right, very nice work there. Thank you.
John Proudly.
Yeah, John Proudly. Yeah. All right, Joe, are you within earshot? No. All right, how about you, Don?
Nope.
Nope. All righty. All right, let's move in house here.
I've got one already set up in front of the camera.
Okay. Yes.
That's just, I know guys, it's cannons, but they're ship cannons, as I'm learning, and that's a kit that I added everything to. From the decking, it's gonna be my bedside stand for my phone, and all the tackle works, the breech, all, even the gun port works, the cannon rolls. I added the lights, which was kind of fun. Bob showed me how to do all that, so I'm learning different skills, so it makes it fun.
This one's also yours?
Yeah, that's just, you don't have to show that, that's just, the only reason I did that is I was adding wood walls, learning how to do that versus resin, and,
Oh, we're gonna look at it now.
okay. Well, compared to you guys, it's good.
By the way, that's not just a cannon, it's a part of the ship, you just haven't built the rest of it.
That's right. My wife would love me if I built that to scale. It'd take up a whole room. I just did this because it's the 9-inch Dahlgren that was on the Virginia, and made the wall, all the metal myself, it's all made, the decking, it's all that. Of course, the cannonballs that are to scale are on the side that fell over, but some learning to add wood and do wood. I'm learning to like wood. So I think Gene said someday I might be doing scratch model, but I'm learning. And it's the first time I'm learning the weather and stuff like that. But of course that cannon runs and tackle works.
Very nice. Lots of good detail in there.
Yeah. So it was fun. And then the next one's the Virginia that I've been talking about for months, finally finished it.
Oh, this one's yours too?
Yeah, that's a ship, actually. And it was fun to learn. I learned to copper, learned to use brass. It's one where I added all the planks to make it look like the iron plates, and I caulked it. So then I had to learn to scribe, and of course that messed it up. But it was fun. So it was a good experience.
Is that a solid hull?
Yeah, it's a blue jacket. But yeah, in that model, you have to add everything to it, because there's really not much to it, so it was fun to build and the copper and learn how to do some of that stuff, and,
Which scale is that? It's like
1/196,
90, okay.
or 192, 192. So you, like you guys do, you learn to add stuff to all your models, and underneath are two of the three cannons are on it, just the 9-inch Dahlgren and the Marsili carriage, and then the famous 7-inch Brook. And all the cannons are to scale the exact cannons that were on the ship. So,
All right, thank you.
well, the cannons are different scales, just so you can see, because you really can't see the little 3/4 inch ones.
Yeah, what did you say? It fit. All right, you want to? No, you had nothing on what? Well, I'm going to show us your cables.
Again, just kind of a preview. I'm going to be doing a presentation in June on making rope. So kind of just see a little bit here. Some of the stuff that I've made. This particular one, I'm working on a 1/32 scale version of the Seguin that Stuart finished. And this particular one, I'm going to be using as the tow cable on the stern of it. And I'll kind of go over in the presentation. The loop, I actually did the serving around the portion that makes up the loop. Did the eye splice in it, and then actually served over the eye splice. And in the presentation, I'll kind of go over a lot of the materials that I've been practicing with, just to see what I like best. One I just made last night, and this is actually some cotton machine quilting thread. But it took me probably about 45 minutes to make that piece of rope last night. So I'm having fun doing that. And I'll have a lot more details in June.
Joseph Ficklin.
When I do the presentation for the club.
And Mike. Yeah. Pallet.
What are you using
For the thread? I've got a couple different ones.
No, what device do you?
Believe it or not, right now I'm just using the rope walk that Model Expo sells. It's kind of the best one around. If someone really wants to go buy one, I would recommend the one that Chuck Casaro sells on his Siren ship model website. This one I can only do 3-strand rope. I can't do the 4-strand shroud laid rope. But the one that Chuck sells, you can do the 4-strand.
All right, thank you. All right, jumping back up online quickly. Joe, I thought I saw you poke your head in there. You around? Have anything to share? Okay, Mike? Nope. Rylan? How about you, Mr. Joe Ficklin? Are you there? Just
I'll
observing.
save mine for next month when I'm there.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, you got anything to share for us?
All I can share for you is a blue water and a on the beach today.
All right.
Okay. And a gin and
Thanks a lot, Rylan.
Who invited you?
Yeah. Joe, Mr. Lorenzo, are you there? You have something to share for us today?
No, I am struggling with these Vanguard. You may recall I trying to outfit this Niagara, and I bought the Vanguard small boats, and they are not for the faint of heart. and I'm struggling with them. I don't want to show them yet. I think I can salvage them. I'll be back.
All right, well, we're looking forward to it. Thanks. All right. All right. I know.
Can't let Gene have all of this.
Let me just move Gene's stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
I've almost got the 2 small boats for the White House tender finished. And there's one. See, this is the rowing boat, lifeboat, I guess. And there's seats in it. I've only got 2 in place now. And there's a rudder. And then the second boat is the one that is the launch that has the motor. This. See it like that.
Adjust the camera if you want me to point it down on the table.
Get it as close as I can. But anyway, they were built, the hulls were built, they're all completely built from holly. And they were built upside down, planked over a mold. And then that was lifted off, and then the frames were added, and the floors down at the bottom. Can't remember the floorboards. The floorboards, I guess, and seats and knees and all that kind of stuff, and oarlocks. It's all added, and they're at the stage now where they need to be painted.
What scale are those?
These are 1 to 48.
Nicely done.
Thank you. But like I say, the key, I think, is to make the solid form. Well, you can actually read the newspaper through that thing. Look at that. Is to make the solid form and then plank over it. The second key to me is the kind of wood. And I used holly because you can bend it and do what you want with it pretty much. The sand's nice. And
So you said you did want to make a mold?
no, you can have the mold if you want, Gene.
Where did you get the holly?
There was a tree. Believe it or not.
Oh, so that's
His neighbor's tree was in the way.
I actually put the tree there.
I think the Hollywood was also the name of a lighthouse, and that was the assistant one of my land engineer, John Rogers.
It was one. You can actually, it grows all over this area. And just be selective if you get permission. Be selective on what you take. And be careful with it, because sometimes holly grows and the trunk is twisted. And so the wood is not very useful that way. So you try to find one that doesn't have a twist in it as it grows. And down season it. Sometimes people, I think, get the wood, they always talk about it being white. And you can buy and get holly that is white, very white. I don't like it, that color. I think it's too natural. This is more, a little more tan, I guess. And there's also some gray in it from, I guess it was the moisture within when it was seasoned. But I think it's more realistic looking in the scale as far as color goes.
You don't want the green in it, you kind of get somebody who kiln dries it right after they cut it down.
Is that what it is? So if it's not kiln dried. Okay.
Well, if you're gonna paint it, it's really terrible. Yeah.
And unfortunately, it will be painted.
All right, thanks, John. Well, Sean?
I guess
I'll call on you last. Out.
All right, so I'm still doing trials for the Winchelsea. I'll probably be at that for a really, really long time. So I took a break. Oh my God. And I ended up doing, is that a little blurry? Or is it just me? I started doing some of the deck pieces. This is the double cast bin. So they actually,
So it's made on a wooden dowel. They'll be slightly separated when they're actually in the model. So you have the lower deck, the gun deck, and then the quarter deck caspins. Right now, trying to struggle because when the bars aren't shipped, they have little drawers that sit inside the caspin, and like medical bandages, things like that, are put in there during the heat of battle. They can go and get tourniquets, things like that to help. So I'm trying to figure out in this scale of 1:1, how to actually make some of the drawers, because I'll put probably fake door fronts on most of it, but I'd like to do on the quarter deck, do a couple that might show it, so it doesn't look too kit-like. So, but that's my caspin. I was going to bring in I've started on the stove, but it's pretty fragile right now, so I didn't want to bring that in and get it damaged. But yeah, so I'm doing Trennels still, and I put that together just for give myself a little bit of a break. Oops. Show the top.
Beautiful, really beautiful.
Nice.
What kind of wood is it?
That's cherry.
Yeah, all right.
All right, great. You got anything?
I didn't
Okay. Caleb, how about you? You got something for us?
I got two.
Okay.
So, I have pretty much sanded down the hull of the Virginia. It's also able to check it as well.
Yeah, let me make some room there for you.
I think it's done, but I don't know if it is yet. I pretty much, if you look here, I pretty much got the front. Still got a few bumps on superstructure. Pretty much. I got about 95% more to go.
Yeah, guys, we can't see online. We're just seeing a picture of the table and the Ziploc bag.
Is that the Blue Jacket kit?
Okay, this is a Blue Jacket kit. And for my next one, the Dapper Tom. I usually do this outside with a little mask. It doesn't look really done, but I kind of got it more curved out right here, if you can kind of see. But someone suggested to me that I should try curving down here, if you can look right here. More bends.
Make it more concave, yeah. Round file. Wrap around it, yeah.
And I don't know if I'm supposed to make it, am I supposed to sand it down until it gets very thin to here?
So, yeah, this is Tom Ruggiero. I've built a few of those. Did you make templates to carve the outside of the hull?
I don't know. Maybe it's in the future.
That's enough.
What you do when you carve down the outside first? But to do that, what works is you take some cardstock or even cardboard, and from the plans you make templates at each station line so that you could check to see how much wood you have to take off. Like you see underneath the keel where the keel goes, that's purposely left very, very thick so it doesn't get damaged when they ship it. Okay, but you're gonna want to thin that down a little bit. And then for the bulwarks on the top, yes, you have to bring it way down. Some people actually just cut them off and put new ones on, but yeah, you have to do that.
Thank you. Thanks for help. And last but not least,
If you want, we could do a tech session on that where I could show you. I have some templates that I cut for a model that I'm building now.
we could do that next week.
Well, next time's gonna be a little bit of a problem, but you know what? I'm gonna see Rylan in a few weeks, so he and I can talk about it.
All right, thanks for the help.
You're welcome.
And here's my plans for my own lighthouse tenders that I got. These were on eBay for some reason. This is the maple. It is it was a lighthouse tender at first. However, it was then bought by the Navy version in USS maple. Let's see if I get the calculations correct. This will be on public display if you guys would like to see it soon.
All right, that's very nice.
And my last one, this is the John Rogers. I think it's like I know it's a side wheeler, but I'm not sure if it's a Holly class side wheeler.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen photos of ships like it, like the Jessamine and the Holly Cactus. Pretty much I plan to build this with my Uncle Justin. If not, because he's a ship modeler too.
Oh, very good.
Where do you get the plans?
They're on eBay. And other than that, thank you.
Great job.
All righty, moving on to the next table. You got something, John?
Yep. I'm John, I'm a ship model. I'm here because of this slag, plastic. I've always been fascinated by the Hornet, and this is the second kit of the Hornet. This is parts of the third and fourth kit, trying to get it right. And when you drift by and have a look, just look at the bow and here, nothing more needs to be said. They've done a pretty crappy job on the original.
Oh, you are coming up?
I was.
Okay.
Still am.
You took your time, so I wasn't
The problem.
Let's make some room.
Yep, I can push it. This is a multimedia kit. It's got everything in it. And that includes photo etch and wood and a wood deck. This is the B-25 that Doolittle flew. This is where it took off from, right about there. That's almost exactly where it took off. And this has been about 24 years worth of work. I get tired of it and I clear this up. And I get tired of it and I think, has that ever happened to you? Anyway, I like the way it's coming. It's just, if you drift by and have a look at it, don't move it, please, because it's not done. I figure it's about 60% done now. And the thing about this kit is that the one ship of the class, there are only 3 in the class, Hornet, Enterprise, and Yorktown. Hornet is the only one they don't have a kit in 1/350, period. There's a bunch of hand-wringing going on with the kit manufacturers. They will not produce horn. So that meant I had to eventually learn how to do 3D printing to be able to do some of the parts. Of the 3 ships, 2 of them are almost identical. The third one, of course, is Hornet, which is not. And you have to, there's about, 20% of the ship that's a little different or very different. And that's what you have to learn to do. The real thing you'll notice if you, again, look at that gray plastic thing is, when you look at this, it looks like a warship. And that's what really bothered me at the time, was when I got the kit, it was a resin kit originally. It did not look, it looked, Charles is holding it up. I call it the SSSO Hornet, because it looks like a tanker. It doesn't look like a 34-knot warship. So anyway, I won't waste your time with anything more, but my wife asked me when I started doing some of these 3D printed things, she pointed to something and she said, "How long did it take you to make that?" And I said, "A year." Because that's how long it took me to learn how to do it. But you can cast parts like the gun tubs 10,000ths of an inch thick. And it looks real. It looks exactly like it should, not the blobbier, thick plastic parts. So, yeah, that's it. I'll leave it here for now.
All right.
Oh, yeah, and don't point out little globs of paint. It's not done yet.
Okay, anybody else on the table? Charles, you got nothing? Nope. Moving along. Nope. How about you? There you go.
Okay, this is His Majesty's Yacht HMY Royal Caroline 1749, King George II's yacht here. Last time I brought it in, I was complete up to the end of the carriage deck here, with the exception of the royal barge and the mast. So we'll start with the barge. What they gave me in the kit was paint. It was really small, and it had no freeboard to it. I built it anyway just to prove that this isn't gonna work. And I got it to the point where I was ready to put the seats in, and it wasn't gonna work. So that went away. So I started looking online to see what I could get that would be about that size and fit on the boat pier. And I didn't really find anything, and I was kind of leaning another way anyway. I figured, the last few models I built, I did a lot of parts replacement and making parts and changing out woods and everything. So I said, I think I've got enough in my skill set now to try and scratch build something. So Henry had given me the anatomy of the ship book and the plans that the book was built on. So I had scale plans there to work with. So I'm gonna give this a try. And I figured out how to read a body plan, which is the important part. So I got that done, and I started making the keel. Naturally, was easy to cut out. I started making frames, and I made them a little bit thicker because they were going to be so thin. I tried to grind them down later. So I started making frames, and they were coming out pretty good because I lost track of how many I broke in the process. But I got really quick on my scroll saw at cutting out another one. So I kept cutting out and piecing together, and I got the frames done. And then there's the bow block. And this is the barge, so it's kind of rounded bow anyway. So I ground it down, and it's looking pretty good. Got the first 2 rows of planks on, and had the shear right on it, and it's looking pretty good. I started looking at the bow, I said, that's too square. So how I fix this? What I did was I snipped off the planks on either side after the first frame and peeled those off, and I ground down the block the way I thought would be better. And it was looking better, and I was starting to piece together the planks back into where they were and try and get that shape on it, and I broke the keel. So I tried to glue and pin that together, and I mean, this is like over 3 weeks of work on this thing already. And I said, all right, that ain't gonna work. So just at the meeting before that, Josh told us about the Vanguard small ships that Joe was just referring to. And I looked on their website, so they have a 32-foot barge at 160 scale, and I needed a 27-foot barge at 147 scale. So I figured, well, that's lengthwise, it's gotta fill that space pretty good. So I went ahead and bought that. And so I built that up, and that's what I have on there. But I did some modification to it, because from the plans of the Royal Barge for Caroline, what the kid had was you just, on a top plank, you just cut notches in it for the oar locks. No, I don't like that. But on the plans, the Royal Caroline had a sculptured piece that went on there with the openings for the oar locks, and then it was a lot better. So anyway, I made those, put those on, used the color scheme and the brass strip that went around it, and it fits on there, and so that's what I fill the space with, travel trying to get to there. On back, the whip staff here, the tiller part, the kit only had a piece of brass rod coming out and getting bent around, and I don't like that. So I went with anatomy plans that had a wood whip staff, and I put a piece of brass, I made that little knobby thing on the back there. So that brings us to the, can we put the transom on the camera here?
Beautiful.
So I got pretty good at edge bending brass. When I was struggling through when I did the bow, I was talking about, I was trying to figure out how to edge bend this brass strip for a decorative strip here. And when I did this one on the transom here, I started out the same way, putting in the vise to get the initial bend on the edge there. Then I saw that the front half of my vise was about half of an anvil. So I took my little hammer and tap, 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 tap on the anvil, and just started getting the curvature that I needed, and made the curvature and then cut the lengths that I needed. So I think I picked that up from years of watching Forge and Fire. Get over that. So that came out pretty good. Then the center piece, center strip there, where the windows are, that was just a stamped piece of brass, stamped and painted piece of brass. And the windows were just blue, raised, slightly raised, and they were blue, and you were supposed to take some white paint and dab it in there to make that. So that got work for me. So I made some mahogany windows for it, and I was just going to put some transparent plastic behind them, but I did that, and you can still see the blue of the window frame showing through. So I didn't like that, so I went ahead and just stuck some of that sky paper in there that I used before as reflective stuff. And I also made the cove for the center statue there, the alcove that that's sitting in, made that out of mahogany. So yeah, that's pretty much, the rest is all the stuff that came in the kit there.
Very impressive, beautiful.
Hank, what kit is that? What manufacturer?
This is Pan Art, a division of Mantua, and it's Royal Caroline.
Wow.
When I did when I did all the mass, I got to turn everything on my mini lathe, and first time I tried this, I was able to even turn down and make little caps on the tops of the bowsprit there, so that's pretty cool.
Wow.
And the display base, the auction before last, I think at the end of it, John had put a box over here if anybody needed a box. And he said, there's some bases in there if you want. So I looked up and found this one. I said, I might be able to do something with that. I took that base. And then sometime after that, Mike Pelham had put a handful of some spindles on the table. I picked up a few. I said, I might be able to make that work. So yeah, 3 spindles, 3 base, and just kind of put it together. We'll have some finished work to do on it yet, but that's pretty much it. And this will be the last time you see it in person. Once I start rigging and getting yards and everything on it, it's just too easily damaged in transport. So I'm not moving it again until it gets into its case and where it's going to live forever. But, you know, all these people, I got to replace a lot of the walnut with mahogany. So these are all mahogany pieces that I had to cut out. Anyway, getting that down to the fun part now, tying a few thousand knots. That'll be it.
All right, thank you, Hank. All right, who have yes. Go ahead.
This is actually my first attempt at building a ship, and I'm pretty happy with the way some of it came out. The hull is actually a double planking, so I'm really happy with the way that came out. And then I did the details on the inside. And these are the cabin covers that I put that actually are they actually slide in. But the rigging, this is the first time I've ever done rigging, and if you look at it, some of the rigging is really rough, and as I got better, I got better at the rigging. Some of the, if I can turn it this way, you see, some of them were really bad looking, and some of them, I'm getting to the point now where I think the rigging is finally understanding that. And this is the first time I've done sails. I still have one more sail to put up on here, but it's a work in progress, but it's my first attempt. Thank you.
Very good.
Very nice, very nice.
All righty, let me see, anybody else in house here that we missed? All right, Greg, why don't you plug me in real quick? I'll go last. I have a few bits and pieces from the zircon that I've been whittling on, and actually you'll probably see it better with the slide, and you can look at the bits and pieces later on if you want. But anyways, as you may have gathered from my captain's log this month, you know,
I'm in the folder called Show and Tell. That's where you want to be.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, I've kind of lost the momentum. I've been out of the shop for 3 weeks now. And I know, it's unprecedented. And, you know, I've lost the mojo. I gotta get back in there and start whittling again. So, this was where we left off last time. It's just kind of an overall of the progress of the boat. It's pretty much exactly the same as it was, but I started to go off, if you go to the next one, into some of the details, kind of put them aside. Here is the one of the mouse traps, one of the 2 mouse traps are going to be mounted on the bow. The etching brass, the raw, and then a cobbled up piece soldered together. You can go ahead. And that's what the component looks like. I mean, it was a pretty crude weapon. I mean, it was just a slide and a couple of rockets.
Hey, Gene?
We can't see it.
We can't see your screen.
Okay, Greg, why don't you back up and share it? All right, we're going to start over again.
I don't know what happened. Come on.
Recover the gun turret of the USS Monitor.
All right, are you seeing that online now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, just to reiterate briefly, this is a brass mousetrap weapon that I have photo etched using my own artwork and process at home. And this is one of the two that were soldered together in 10 thousandths brass. And move. You can go to the next one. It's just another picture of it for a lot of little details. Lots of little micro folding and stuff, and you can see how large the original is. It probably stands about 2 inches tall or so forth. All right, next, and just a progress picture with the actual ones behind. All right, go ahead. Here are some of the deck boxes, ammo boxes and things. These were actually 3D printed for the most part. I didn't have to do a whole lot with them at this point, so I mean they were reasonable, so I decided to use them. A couple of the other boxes for the 3-inch guns and the rockets, I had to scratch build next. Included inside are some of the canisters, the 20 millimeter details. I can move along. And here are some of the rocket boxes that I built for housing the, what was it? What is it, 4.2 rockets? I forget the size of those.
65 pounds.
Whatever they were, yeah. All right, next. The 3-inch gun lockers and some of the little brass details that I etched, the locks. Again, the mousetrap, fleshing out some of the details on them. And then I think the next one is complete with the rockets and decal nomenclature on each one. And these are pretty much ready to be mounted on the deck.
Gene, on your ammo boxes, you left the 1 or 2 inch gap between the outer shield and the inner box, right?
Yeah, the heat shields. Oh, there. Back up a few. Oh, okay, there it is, right there. Next one.
Oh, yeah.
No. There it is.
Right now?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure.
Oh, yeah.
You can see that.
Well, if you zoom in, you can count the rivets. Okay, go ahead, forward. All right, moving forward. Moving right along.
You said.
Okay. That's it. Let's move on to lunch. Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. Again, here's the brass for the gun mounts. The gun mounts for the 3-inch. I had trouble with this because the only available 3D printed 3-inch guns, 3-inch 50 guns available were of a more modern or the later version, Mark and Mod. And the ones that were on the Zircon were much earlier. They were scavenged from probably World War I or what have you and mounted. So I had to convert the gun to an early version, and that included a scratch-built mount for it. And there's, like I said, the brass work for it. Took a little bit of imagination to try and flatten it all out, but once I got the geometry correct, then it's just a matter of rolling it up, folding it up, and soldering it together. Next, and here's a close-up of the mount with the combing and all that kind of etched into the process. All right, and just progress with the mounts, the gun supports and so forth. Next. Now here's the 3D printed version that I said that I could not use. I took one and dissected it, thinking I'd be able to use some components. I was wrong. So lesson learned. So about the only thing I scavenged from the gun was the breech next. And from that, I threw out the barrel, turned a new one, grafted it to the breech, and then formed a pattern from which I made a mold next.
Oh, yeah.
And then cast it in a bismuth metal. I decided I'm going to start casting in metal instead of resin. It's the same process, and it's actually cheaper because with the resin, there's a lot of waste. All the sprue and everything that is hard, that's trash, that's garbage, it's gone. Whereas with the metal casting, it uses the same rubber. You have less problems with bubbles, and all the sprues you just clip off, throw back in the pot, and reuse it. And so it's actually a very cost-effective way, and you end up with a product which is much more robust.
Yeah, it's probably stronger.
Oh, infinitely so.
You don't get the work of a barrel.
Exactly, and you can machine it, whatever you want with it. So here is the mold, and you can see those up on the table.
That's just a straight pour, you don't spin that.
No, just a straight pour, gravity, and it holds and retains a lot of the detail without the problems of the resin, capturing little bubbles, corners, and things like that. And this rubber I use here, probably a little overkill. It's a 60 Shore rubber. It'll take 500-600 degrees, but you can use a softer rubber, maybe a 40 Shore rubber. That'll easily take the temperature that the bismuth in alloy will do. This stuff melts very quickly. It's almost like solder, 300, 350, maybe something like that.
You have a special pot that you use to melt the metal in?
It's a little electric pot, and I just heat it up, and when it cools off, it just solidifies. Just put it away. I got all the stuff from Amazon. It's cheap stuff. So I've decided I'm gonna convert anything I cast into metal. And here are some of the raw barrels mounted to the mount. And from here, it's just a matter of piling on the details. You can go next.
Gene, what do you use for primer to spray that?
The mold?
No, when you're done with the metal, the photo etching metal.
Oh, just a rattle can.
Really?
Ace primer.
Okay.
Yeah. And just adding little details from photo etch press, wheels to plastic to whatever it takes to replicate the photograph. All right, next. And it's from here. It's just a matter of just piece by piece, and you can see the details that can easily be captured in the casting. I mean, it's great. All right. And I think the next pictures were just a progression of piling on parts. And from here, it's about the only thing I have left to do. There's some more details. I want to add the gun sights to a telescopic gun sights. They'll be mounted into the recesses there, the hoops you see. But essentially, that's the gun. It's like, I forget the mark and mod, but it's an earlier gun. And there were so many different variants and versions. I just have to go by pictures and so forth. All right, I think that's probably next, maybe. The 20s are straight up 3D printed. I couldn't improve on those, so I'm just going to use these. These were acquired from MicroMasters out of New Zealand, and they are just absolutely stunning. The detail is impeccable. Wow. All I did was paint them. All right. And that's, I think, pretty much where I stand now. And it's just a matter of just piling on parts. I think that's the last one.
It is.
All right, if there's no questions, then that'll conclude the meeting. You scavengers go back to the boxes, and we'll have them out for a few more minutes before John collects everything. And
The website that you can go to, just micromaster.com.
I think it is, but yeah, it'll come up if you don't.
Have a good day, guys.
Where are we going for lunch?
Heinz is here, so it must be.
Have a good day, guys. Great job. Thank you.
Yeah, enjoyed the meeting. See you all next month.
Bye.